Hi, everyone. My name is Baron, and I lead Capital's Public Relations Department. Welcome to Capital's first AMA to answer all your questions about the main trends in DeFi. If you are currently following us on Twitter and also joined our Telegram channel, you'll know we ran a poll to collect all your questions about investing in DeFi. And in today's session, we will answer all the questions that you guys asked. For today's AMA session, we're hosting Celia Zeng, Capital's leading decentralized finance asset manager. She joined Capital since its beginning. She has an impressive traditional finance background. Although she joined the DeFi space just a few years ago, she comes from Wall Street. She's worked in many big banks, including Citibank and JP Morgan Chase. Now, Celia leads Capital's decentralized finance investment team. With her growing and more impressive team by the day, she identifies investment opportunities in the DeFi space and makes investments on behalf of our users. We're going to talk to her in just 1 minute. But first, let me give you a quick introduction to Capital, just in case if you've never heard of us. Capital is a trusted digital financial institution to buy, sell, and earn cryptocurrency. You could generate up to 12% a year off your USDT. In addition, we've launched a business B2B solution called Capital Connect, which is a secure, simple fiat on-ramp and off-ramp gateway for cryptocurrency platforms, including NFT, metaverse companies, and much, much more. Now back to the trends in DeFi. But before we dive into these key trends, let's get to know Celia a little bit more about how she made this transition from Wall Street to this new fast-growing DeFi space. So Celia, just let our audience know, we understand you came from traditional finance. You worked at Nomura, Citibank, JP Morgan with a lot of experience. I mean, your resume is very impressive. How and why did you make this transition from banking to this crypto space right now?
Hi, Baron. Thank you for having me. Yes, I started to get to know the cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, Ether back to 2018. Then 2 years ago, I was introduced to the DeFi space. I saw how lucrative the yield in the DeFi mining pool and innovation with the alt market making in the decentralized exchange. I was very interested in it. Cryptocurrency is a form of money and finance is the management of the money. So having a traditional finance background seems like a natural springboard for a crypto career. So there you go. I switched from traditional finance to the crypto world.
You're right. That 12% yield is very high, especially if you compare it to checking accounts and savings accounts and even a lot of stock markets. So we talked about your role a little bit, but could you talk a little bit about your role in Capital? What's your day-to-day life like? What do you do every single day in the company?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the asset manager covering the investment side for Capital. My day-to-day responsibility, including analyze the potential DeFi investment protocol, research the blockchain projects to understand their use cases, and also perform due diligence on UBOs, founders, project teams. Additionally, I also managing the liquidity of the firm and doing the daily risk monitoring of our investment, report to the P&L by end of the day. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of work and a lot of responsibility, but you seem like you like it, right?
Yeah, I do. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, that's great. So let's just get into DeFi a little bit. Um, some of our users may not know exactly the difference between DeFi and CeFi. Could you just give us a little overview about the differences between them?
Yeah, sure. So when we're talking about CeFi, centralized finance, it's always referred to banking and traditional finance. It can also refer to the cryptocurrency sector branch based on centralized entity, such as exchange or centralized lending platform. Um, well, for DeFi, decentralized finance, user trust that the technology will perform as proposed to execute on service being offered. The one of the most difference is that the system is regulated in case of CeFi, while in case of DeFi, the transaction would be successful as a result of smart contract. So in simple terms, the user are themselves responsible for managing their funds and activities in DeFi world.
That's very interesting how you said that the main difference between CeFi and DeFi is that CeFi is regulated by regulators, governments, and authorities, and CeFi is based off smart contracts without a middleman. So with that in mind, should a guy like me who is not an expert in DeFi, should I
Right.
invest in DeFi? For someone new to DeFi, do you have any tips on what they should do? I know these are two different questions, but if you could help out a little bit, that'd be great.
Yes, of course. So for the new beginner, I would suggest investing in token with large market cap, utility, and trading volume. Some safe players are always the large caps, such as Bitcoin and Ether. Also, stablecoins are able to generate high yields for you, creating new streams of income if staked with a reliable crypto saving platform.
Okay, that's great. That's very interesting. I think that would be something I would consider doing if when I get a lot more experience. So um, the next question I have for you is, how do you get intelligence on projects that you're currently investing in? And what are you planning on investing in?
Um, Darren, I think you're right because even for professional investor, the cryptocurrency industry is developing faster than ever, and with the new innovations around every day, it can be difficult to keep up. I'd like to get information from websites such as CoinMarketCap, CoinDesk, to keep up with daily news around crypto world. And also, I follow the social media like Twitter, Reddit. I listen to the podcast, Backless, On-Chain, and also I recommend for users who are interested in the DeFi world to subscribe to newsletters such as Chain Letters, Crypto Weekly, so you can follow those news to get to your idea around a crypto DeFi world.
Oh, it looks like you have a lot of different sources, including websites and social media and different types of newsletters. That's why you're able to make some really good investments on the behalf of our clients. So, when you allocate capital, it's kind of funny, into DeFi projects, how do you decide which one is good or not?
So for us, we have some principles to follow when we place the investment. So for the safety, we check the blockchain and protocol to perform the detailed due diligence on which protocol we invest in, and also to analyze how complicated is the smart contract those protocol are using, to make sure our investment is secure. I think that's a key thing when we invest on behalf of our client. Second, we care about profitability. We study the structure of the yield. We model the token economics model to make sure the interest rate model, those protocol offering is sustainable, and also have a very stable stream of the yield coming through various sources such as swap or exchange. And also we care about liquidity of our investment. We compare the maturity of our investment to match our customer withdrawal demand. And as specifically for the DeFi project, we only consider those protocol require their borrower to place collateral that exceeds the amount borrowed. So we want to make sure our principal is secure. That's a key thing when we evaluate DeFi projects.
I agree with you that, and I think it's very important what you said, that security is one of the most important things, and so is profitability and liquidity. I mean, I think you really hit the main thing. So a lot of people are a little scared of investing in DeFi because there's a lot of risk involved, especially if you don't have the knowledge and sources like you have. So how do you mitigate risk when you're evaluating a DeFi project to invest in?
Sure. I think the main risk when we invest in the DeFi project are smart contract risk, credit risk, and also interest risk. So for the smart contract, we only invest in the protocol that are audited by at least two independent auditing firm. And also for Cabital, we have an independent info security team also look into the smart contract to make sure there is low risk of hacking. For the credit risk, I will perform the due diligence about the protocol to check its security, continuity, and also interest rate model. So each investment I present will go through the risk committee meetings. We only invest in the protocol that have been approved by risk committee member. And also for the interest risk, we were trying to find attractive yield-generating protocol that are matched with whatever the yield we offer for our clients. So that's our general approach to managing those risks.
Sounds like a good approach. You look at smart contract risk, credit risk, interest risk, and a lot of different types of things. I think that's been a really good strategy so far. So, do you have any specific strategies that you could share with us when you're investing in the DeFi space? And on top of that, what are the best DeFi platforms to invest in? Do you think?
Yeah, sure. So for us to invest, for client investment, we generally run market neutral strategy, such as stablecoin strategy. Give example USDT, USDC. We want to make sure our principal is secure, and so our strategy around our client investment is more conservative. And also we have our working capital. We would run more aggressive investment strategy around our working capital. We do spot future and stablecoin arbitrage. So those are generally two strategies we are running within Capital for now. In terms of so in terms of the platform, I would recommend Arvi and Curve because those two protocols are leading player in the DeFi space. They've been established in the market for a long time, and also they've been audited continuously by auditing firms. So I would recommend those two.
Sounds good. Aave and Curve are very trusted in the industry. Why would you say is the most fun and interesting parts about investing in DeFi these days?
I enjoy mostly the learning curve is constantly expanding. As more projects come live, we have many opportunity to grow in the space, to learn more, and expand the world of DeFi.
That makes sense. That sounds pretty good. So let's just go into the trends a little bit in the DeFi space. What are some of the key trends you're seeing in the DeFi space, such as stable coins, and why is the interest rates on USD T so low? It's very interesting that people are earning 10-12% on USDT these days. How does that all work?
Sure. How about we start with yields in US dollar and stable coins? I would say the stable coins give US dollar more use cases because interest rate on US dollar, which is more domestic oriented. However, interest rate on stable coins such as USDT, USDC, lets you invest in worldwide opportunities that are usually open to institutional clients such as hedge fund. With the DeFi world, this finally gave the retail investor like you or me a chance of lifetime to invest in projects that we will at once only open for big institutional clients such as hedge fund or high net worth individuals. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I do agree. This is a chance of a lifetime to earn some money. What do you think of other blockchains such as Avalanche and Solana? Do we invest in those new blockchains at all?
Yes, we do, because we're trying to allocate our portfolio across the major layer one player. We currently have investing in SOL. And also for Ether, I understand a lot of people argue the gas fee around Ethereum are so high, but Ether do offer very good security and returns. So for us, we're trying to balance across layer one chains. Yeah.
Yeah, Ether does seem to still be the dominant blockchain compared to the rest of them, but we are seeing the rest of them starting to catch up slowly. And with this in mind, how do you see regulators across the world dealing with DeFi? The US and the Europe have kind of been leading in this front.
Yeah, definitely. I would say no one central authority is covering DeFi right now, but we're seeing US and European regulator attempting to wrap their minds around it. Right now, US regulator are focused on bringing stablecoin into their financial system. Leading member of the Senator Banking Committee introduced a three-pronged regulatory framework for stablecoin issue in US that will give a lot of clarity on stablecoin industry going forward.
Yes, from what I've been reading, also, I've noticed that US regulators are, especially the Senate is taking it very seriously, and Joe Biden has signed a couple bills on it already, which is quite exciting. So finally, what do you think that DeFi will look like in a few years and even beyond?
Yeah, it's quite exciting, interesting to see the development. I would say more institutional player will enter in this area. In March, we saw Goldman Sachs launch the OTC trade for cryptocurrency with Galaxy Digital. And the second, I would say DAO will replace the traditional corporate structure, especially allowing voting or moving funds in a matter of minutes. The third one, Web3, the decentralized technology will provide a faster way of communication and improve the way of personalized user experience.
Yeah, Web3 is going to be really exciting when that starts to be built out across the DeFi area. So thank you, Celia. That was very insightful.
Thank you.
We end, great. I'm really happy you were here. So before we end, please follow Capital on Twitter and LinkedIn so you may always know about our new products and services. And make sure you come and put some money within Capital so you can earn up to 12% a year on your USDT. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Celia, once again, and have a great day, everybody.